This is probably the most serious video I will ever do. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Abigail Jolie, last name redacted. Today I'm going to be making a video about something I hope will help somebody out there deciding if they want to come to Korea to teach English. This feels like some sort of Dateline interview. This video is going to be about whether you should be an English teacher in South Korea. Teaching in Korea is one of the easiest ways to get a visa and stay here in Korea, so a lot of people are drawn to it. I taught as an English teacher for 1 year. 1 year, last year. And I am glad that I'm finally brave enough to talk about it. Teaching English in Korea. Maybe you've heard about it, maybe you're thinking about it, maybe you already signed a contract for it. Well, I am here to give you some additional information on my experience being an English teacher in Korea for a minuscule time. Okay, let's get started with the basics, I guess, of what English teaching in Korea looks like. You either work in a hagwon, which is a private academy, or you work in a public school, a regular public school. The public school usually needs an actual teaching degree, actual teaching experience, because this is a coveted position. On the other hand, hagwons will take just about anyone. Now, I say that in the nicest way possible. So if you are applying to be an English teacher and you don't really have any teaching experience and you're kind of just going into this to come to Korea, then you're probably going to find yourself on the end of hagwon contracts, which is what I did. I wanted to be a teacher when I was little, and I've always found myself in teaching positions, like kind of leadership positions in like regular other types of jobs. So I did art teaching, I was a trainer, not this type of trainer. Definitely not that type of trainer. More of like I'm training you to work here, like a work employee trainer. I thought that would be okay and that I would be able to do well in this type of job. But mostly I wanted to come here to travel because I had always planned to come to Korea to travel to. I wasn't even going to come to Korea. I was just going to travel up Asia after I graduated college. And so I thought that, you know what, might as well have a job when I did it. I feel like a lot of people think that when they're signing up for this. So yeah, there's a lot of expectations going into this. And today I'm going to be telling you how many? 4. 4 questions to ask yourself before you decide to sign the contract to be an English teacher in Korea. I personally had the worst year of my life last year, and it's for several different reasons and not just about being an English teacher, but it was all caused by that. So I'm going to be as unbiased as I can in this. There's a lot of people online that kind of boast about being an English teacher, and you see that a lot from people working in the public school arena. So I'm going to tell you what it's like at hagwons. In any situation, moving to a new country is stressful, especially if you're young, especially if you're a young female who hasn't necessarily lived by themselves before. It's stressful to move to a country where you don't know the language. It's stressful stepping into a new job. It's stressful finding your way, finding friends, and I would love to make a video sometime about the reality of moving to another country, not knowing the language and not knowing anybody. So if you have any questions about that, drop them down below because I would love to make a video about that, even though that would be a serious one too. It's like I said, be 2 serious videos. Yeah, I'd be willing to share my experience if anybody is thinking about it, have any questions, let me know. But I'm going to try and be completely unbiased. I'm going to be trying to look at this. I feel like a little bit of a nurturingness towards people who are now doing this now. Like honestly, if you literally have any questions about this, like I would love to help somebody who's on the fence to know if this is really the right choice for you. Because signing a contract means signing a year of your life, of your time. And for some people, that'll be a good advancement. And for other people, that would be maybe a waste of time. So yeah, should you really be an English teacher in Korea? Let's see. Number one question to ask yourself before signing a English teaching contract here in Korea is, do you really like teaching? Like I said, I thought I would like teaching, and from my experience, the teaching part was the best part. When I got into the classroom and was able to teach my kids, that was the best part for me. So do you actually like teaching? Especially if you're working in a preschool hagwon. Hagwons are a private academy, so older kids go after school. After their school is done, older kids, like elementary kids and kindergarten kids sometimes, they come after school for like more English practice. But my hagwon had a preschool as well. So this is kids, could be as American age 2 to American age 5. So I worked with 3-year-olds. Now you have to actually like to teach if you need to spend time, or at least like kids. Being the foreigner teacher, you're the fun one. In my experience, being a foreigner teacher means game time, fun time, let's talk time, less like maybe some of the counterpart Korean teachers. In a hagwon and in other teaching facilities, the foreigner teacher only knows English, so they need a counterpart Korean co-teacher, as they're called. Be actually looking for a teaching job. I think this is my biggest tip. Like, are you actually looking for a teaching job? Because it is a teaching job. And it is a long hours teaching job. And like kids, you have to like kids. Like if you even have one little speck of, like, I do not like kids. If you have one little ounce in your heart with a distaste towards children, by the end of your working, you will literally despise children. Like, it's a lot. If you ever worked in a daycare or anything like that, you know how hard it is to work with kids. That's why people who can teach like this are saints. So, do you like teaching? Yes or no? And if it's a no, then don't do it. Please. For your sake. For your sake. Because it doesn't matter to them. For your sake. If you don't like teaching, do not sign. Number two. Are you interested in travel? Are you interested in going across the ocean to travel? I don't know if you're going across the ocean or not, but I did. I went across the whole Pacific for this job. And my intention was to see Asia. I was like, yes. Every weekend I'm going to be like, bam, bam. I'm going to go to Bali. I'm going to go to Vietnam. I'm going to go to Thailand. They're all so close, right? And I'm going to enjoy Korean culture. Like, I'm going to be visiting everywhere. Girl, when are you going to have the time? You do not have the time. I'm surprised at the travel I pushed myself to do. My working hours were 9 to 6. And it is my fault, but I had to have an hour commute every day. Hour there, hour back. So 2 hours on the train. So I was out of my house from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. and exhausted by the time I got home. It is a lot of work, and schedules and hagwons change constantly. And if people are sick, you have to take on more classes. And your day can be so filled that at the end of it, you're so exhausted. Weekends were catch your breath days, let alone rest days for me. If you are a somewhat sensitive, emotional person, that is what you would expect. If you're a nonstop go-getter, you can do it all type of person, like if you have that much energy, this will be fine for you. Like if you can work all day with kids and go party at night, like, wow. Like I wish. I think seeing more of the male teachers, like men maybe have a easier time with this. My hormones were just up and down and exhausted. Even when I did go on vacation, I feel like I wasn't mentally there. Like our Japan trip, I felt like I was in a completely different hazed state of just like discomfort. Like I'm just so exhausted. I was just so tired all of the time. So yeah, you basically have zero time in the evenings, especially if you're working at Hagwons. At nighttime, I think you work from like 11 to 7, which is still better hours than working preschool hours. If you want to work less, maybe work as an afternoon teacher. That's saying it nicely. Yeah, so you usually have like an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours if you're a night owl, 4 hours if you're a super night owl, to do something in the evening, which Korea has stuff open in the evenings all the time. 24 hours is a thing everywhere here. So I mean, you can do stuff in the night if you're not tired. Vacations. Let's talk about vacations. I would say that Korea has a lot of national holidays, like they call them red days here. There is a week of summer vacation. There is a week of winter vacation. If you're working at a public school, I think you get longer time. Working at a public school is obviously the best situation, but if you don't have a teaching degree or teaching experience, Hagwon is what you're going to be stuck doing. If you're coming here to teach, not to travel, sign the contract. If you're coming here to travel, not really to teach, don't sign that contract. Number 3 is touchy, okay? This is hard to talk about because I don't want to come off rude in any type of way, but this is like literally just an observation that I have seen and that I have felt. If you like and are okay with being treated and feeling like a novelty, there is an obvious distinction between the Korean teachers and the foreigner teachers in the workplace. In my case, and from what I have heard, other teachers' cases were at other schools. For me, it was literally a divide, like a divider that you had to talk over if you wanted to talk to them. It's just like such a difficult thing to talk about because I'm not gonna say that it's wrong to want to feel like that. Like, if you actually like to feel like, ooh, I'm American, like everybody thinks that I'm so like cool, you know, like if you like to feel like that, you're okay standing out. And moving to Korea, if you are okay standing out in a group of people, then you will be fine. For me, that's a touchy subject. I want to blend in. I think as much as I could, I wanted to be in a workplace where it just felt like the foreigner teachers and I were treated almost as a princess that you hire for your kid's birthday party, if that makes any sense. They want you to be in every photo. And they're like, we paid a lot of money for you guys to be here, so you guys need to be fun. It was at the same time a lot of responsibility and a lot of visual to uphold. As a teacher, you're exhausted and tired, and you need to be able to discipline children, and you need to be able to have actual meetings with the teachers to know what's going on. Like, I was in charge of 10 3-year-olds' lives. It just felt like maybe for the negatives, we were not really included on critical information. The positives, you get to play with the kids and be the fun teacher and really grow a connection to them in a different type of way. But if you like being treated like, I don't want to say if you like being treated differently, but if you like being treated like a novelty, or you're at least okay with it and understand that, I don't really think that that's avoidable. Maybe it was just my Hagwon. That could completely be the case, but that is one of the reasons why I had personal issues come up. Truly, to me, I was never treated like a equal employee, which could have been because of my age. You have to remember that in Korean society, there is a big age thing, like in just the language. But even when that gets translated into English, there's always that, if you're older, you're here, and if you're younger, you're bottom of the pit. And so I was bottom of the pit. Just a quick tidbit to understand, you might think that everybody coming into this job is young and like fresh out of college, because this kind of seems like that type of thing for it. But you should know that there are some people that have been doing this for a really, really long time. And so they also have a hierarchy, and they also have more importance. They also get more respect. If you are just coming in, like, don't expect, even though you're treated like a novelty, you're still entry-level employee. You're still busboy. It's hard to keep that balance. It's hard to like just understand that balance, because parents obviously want their kids to spend as much time as they can with a foreigner. So that is high demand for you, which means a lot of working. But you're also the busboy. So, difficult balance, as this was my first real job, like my first office job. That kind of threw me for a whirl. If that's a saying, I don't know if it is or not. Number 4, a question to ask yourself. This one, maybe you don't know, but maybe you do know, and this is why you're doing it. Do you want free housing? Do you? Do you want free housing? Because they do give you free housing. So don't expect your pay to be super high, but you also don't have bills to pay. You just have to pay stuff like electricity and water, but honestly, it's like $100 to $150 a month. That's not too bad living, especially if you're thinking about coming to teach Korea in Seoul. Housing could be on the iffy side. I've known through the grapevine somebody who had like a really, really bad apartment where like electricity would be shut off or water would be shut off and there's no way to get it back on, or just like bugs, mold, I don't know. There could be. It's not going to be top tier housing, of course, but a lot of housing in Korea is not top tier if you are looking for affordable housing. I don't think it's ever super horrible. I think it could be horrible, but I don't think it could be super horrible. Like, you have your paycheck to spend on things like, I don't know, K-pop concerts, if that's why you're here. I mean, you're having all this income without having to pay bills, unless you're paying back your family in America or giving them money to your family or saving or whatever. You do have a little bit of disposable income while you're here, so you can do fun things, I guess. So there's something good. See, I'm being positive. I'm not just being negative, being positive. I hear music. I think our upstairs neighbors play recorder, piano, and now xylophone. It's like they're multi-talented. Like, that is a xylophone. When did they get a xylophone? So those are my questions, and if you are on the edge of doing this or doing something else, I would say do something else. But if you are 100%, you've already signed the contract, you got to this video too late, you are on the plane, you're already in Korea, No, I'm just kidding. But if you are set on it, you're like, okay, I'll answer the question. Like, this is for me. Like, this is going to be my job. Like, I can't wait to do this. I can't wait to be in Korea. Let me give you some tips. Okay, these are tips coming from a 1-year employee, so take these with what you will. But these are some things that helped me. And maybe if I had to do it over again, some things that I would do. Oh my God, if I had to do it over again. You're set on this decision, you want to do this, you're ready to do it. Here are 4 tips that I would share to anybody who is going to be an English teacher in Korea. And good luck. And let me know if you need any help. I'm here. Number 1, going into this job, if you are somebody who knows it, you know it, but if you don't know it, here it is. If there's a female-dominated work environment, it's high stress, things like nursing and teaching, there's a lot of drama that will occur. I don't know what kind of psychology, behaviorology, science, if it's a female-dominated, high-stress workplace. And girl, working at Hagwon is. I don't know if working at public school seems so different. Like, if you're working in a public school, like, good job, like, yes, pop off and have fun and let me know how it is. So my tip would be, know who your friends are. Know who your friends are. Drama occurs, you want to gossip about it, but only do it to somebody who you can absolutely trust. And if that's nobody at the time, like, call your mom or call me, like, I'll let you vent. In my Hagwon, there was something new every month of somebody to talk about, somebody in the employee arena. Because yes, some people pick on the kids, you know? There's a lot of gossip. So I would say just try not to partake in that as much as you possibly can. Your life and your visa belongs to the school. They paid blah, 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 blah money for you to fly here, for you to live here, and for you to get a visa here and to live in this country and to work for them. So a lot of times it might feel like to them that they are allowed to be in your secrets, allowed to be in your gossip, allowed to be in your problems. And that is where things got bad for me. Keep your secrets. If there is drama, keep it for your mama or to your best friend that you have there. But try not to gossip. Try to keep your secrets. Number 2 tip is to secretly know Korean. I came in with a little bit of knowledge of Korean, and I mean, it saved my butt. Working with kids, like, they have this unreal expectation for these kids that you can go in, start talking, 2 minutes later, they're gonna know what you're doing, know what you're talking about, know what they're supposed to be doing. But it's like, okay, these kids are kids, first off, so they already aren't listening to anybody because they're doing their own thing. They're trying to play with their blocks. For me, coming in with 3-year-olds, I was so glad to have vocabulary behind my back, like bathroom, ow, I'm hurt, you know, those types of sentences in Korean. Or even like, I miss my mom. Like, that is just so helpful to know for safety reasons and also to help them learn. What I found is, oh my God, sorry. I always say sorry when I hit it because I feel like I'm hitting you guys. Sorry. Yeah, it's also really helpful for them to learn. So if you want a quick teaching tip, if you know Korean, when they say something, if they say like, oh, 어머 보고 싶어, you can say, oh, I miss my mom. And then they'll say, I miss my mom. And then they're learning through that. You're definitely not supposed to speak Korean to the kids, and you're not supposed to know Korean at all. Like, that kind of deflates the fantasy, I guess, of all of this. For your life and for the lives around you, like, you gotta know what's happening. Like, I don't know what is they're thinking of this. Like, people would just like leave us alone in a room for an hour with 12 5-year-olds who don't know any English, and you're not allowed to speak Korean to them. No way, don't do that. But if they're crazy jumping off the walls, hurting each other, punching each other, but you can't say anything in Korean, no. Like, that is so crazy. Like, what is that? What kind of idea is that? I don't think we would ever do that in America. Maybe we do. Maybe there's some immersion schools in America that are like that. It's so helpful to know it. Just save yourself, learn some basic words, learn I need to go to the bathroom, learn I'm bleeding. That will help you. And also then, especially if you're working with older kids, then they can't like talk about you behind your back. So yeah. Tip number 3, separate your work and your life as much as you can. Coming from America, I think our society likes to like mix up our work and our life. Like always in my mind, I've been like, oh, I want to do this. And like, if I have to work overtime in my like nighttime, like it's okay because I'm going to love my job so much that I'll work whenever I want. Like I'll work all the time. In Korea, I think it works best if you cut it off and then have a life because they work you in the day like nothing else. Like that's how my boyfriend is. And he is a office worker. And when he's home, he's home. He tries not to let any work spill over into his life. And I think that works really well for him. And if I was better at that, I obviously would have tried to do that more. But going into it thinking work is work, life is life, maybe that will leave you time and able to do fun things like travel, shop, go to concerts, the fun things for Korea. Number 4, if you are set on being a teacher but haven't signed to a school yet, this is my biggest tip. Does my hair look okay? Yes. If you are a new teacher, ask how many foreign teachers they have, okay? If it's a small amount of foreigner teachers, it could mean it's a smaller school, or it could mean that there's a lot more work for you to do. And how many sick days you would be able to take. I'm gonna tell you right now, when you first come to Korea, especially if you come in the spring, like when the school year starts, the China sand or whatever from this desert comes into Korea, and the pollution and the dustiness of the air is really bad. So it is highly likely, unless you're used to that type of stuff, that you could become sick. Like the first month you're here. I got so freaking sick, my first 5 months. I mean, like at first it was the pollution, and then I think I got an infection, and then like I was coughing so hard I bruised a rib. I got food poisoning from the food once, because in the hagwons and stuff, like they'll give you food if you work in preschool. So you get to like eat with the kids. It's kind of boring. It's like a bonding experience with the kids, but it's also like gross. Like I don't want you to touch my food. But I did get food poisoning from that food once, and I never got to take a sick day. There was a day I was crawling out of the subway station with explosive diarrhea, and I was still made to go work. It's kind of like a joke, like even if you die on the job, they're gonna prop your body up in front of the teacher's chair and make it look like you're teaching. So if you have a very few amount of foreigner teachers at that school, you're probably not gonna be able to take a sick day. So just to keep that in mind. A lot of schools have it in their contract, like you can take 2 sick days. If you're at the busboy level, bottom of the barrel like me, no you cannot. I literally got so mad about that because other people would be able to take a sick day. If you'd been there longer, you could take a sick day. You could take more than the allotted amount. Something to think about. If there are more teachers, if there are more foreigner teachers, I would say this as a double plus, because it's probably a bigger school, which maybe means more classes, but also could mean that they're better organized. It could also mean less responsibility in the sense that if you need to take some you need to take a class off, there might be 10 other people who can take your spot. Also, if there's a lot more, if you're just coming in as a new teacher, I feel like there might be a lot more other new teachers. Working somewhere that has a lot more foreign teachers is better. And I will just say this. Hagwons know their rights. They know what they can make you do and what they can't make you do. And they will set it up so that you only get paid for teaching hours. I'm so happy to be done with that year of my life. I've learned so much. I need to get this across that this is not going to be the case for everybody. Some people love it. I knew people who were doing this for like almost over 10 years, I think. Like some people do this forever. Like this is their job. It's not for me. It's not for me. And those are the reasons why, unbiasedly, why they weren't for me. But just something to remember, when you sign that contract and you take your flight to Korea, you are stuck. There is something called like midnight running or something that people say, where like you just move out, you just like leave randomly. Like one night you're like, all right, I'm going home. And you just hop a flight and leave. That's not really monetarily feasible for everybody because you have to pay them back your plane ticket. If you're gonna be an English teacher, let me know. Let me know where you're working, what's going on, like what are your plans, if any of this helped you. Should you be an English teacher in a Hagwon? Yeah, if you want to be a teacher. Again, that's me and only me, and from what I've heard around the bush, that is my experience. I'm not a woohoo, yes, be an English teacher. And I'm so sorry if that's like not what you wanted to hear, because I swear if I was looking into being an English teacher, if I was doing the search again, if I came across this type of video, I would have been like, she doesn't know what she's talking about, so I'm gonna do it anyway. So if you're like that, I would just keep in mind those tips. Keep your enemies close. Keep your enemies closer. And try and make a friend. All right, everybody. That is all for this video. Thank you so much for watching my tangent, my rant. I really hope this is helpful because honestly, if I can save somebody who's on the fence to not waste a year of their life. Yeah. Okay, everyone, remember to like and subscribe this video if you liked it. If you didn't like it, keep it to yourself. Thank you all so much for watching this very, very serious video. As you can tell, it was very, very serious. And I took it very, very seriously because I even wrote notes down. So, okay. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Ah, it feels so weird saying bye-bye. Bye-bye.